How is it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another automotive news video. And before we get into today's video, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. As a smaller YouTuber, it helps me out a lot. Also, we're close to 2,000 subscribers on the channel. I think I'm going to be doing another merchandise giveaway to my subscribers and my subscribers only. So if you want to get yourself entered to win some free merchandise, definitely go subscribe down below. Again, it's absolutely free and helps me out a whole lot. And also, if you have been subscribed to my channel, you know a couple days ago I did do a video on the release of the new 2023 C8 Z06 that has recently, of course, been revealed by Chevy. Now, in today's video, it's probably going to be, a shorter video because we're just going to be talking about the engine. But in today's video, I do want to kind of dive a little bit deeper and talk about what makes this engine that is found in the new 2023 Z06 so special and so noteworthy. Now, looking at this article actually put out by Fox News, basically this article goes in and just focuses on this engine and a lot of the stats and different things and talking points. And if you haven't seen already, this is what the new Z06 is going to look like. Basically, a wider, more aerodynamic C8 from the outside, and then of course the same engine that is found in the C8R race car on the inside. And this is going to be that engine. It is the 5.5 liter naturally aspirated flat plane crank LT6 engine. Now, this 5.5 liter LT6 engine is also going to have 32 valves, so 4 valves per cylinder, with 16 titanium intake valves and 16 sodium filled exhaust valves. And it is also, of course, going to be a double overhead cam engine, which is something that is another thing that is different from the 6.2 liter pushrod cam overhead valve engine that is found in the regular C8 Stingrays. And also, if you haven't seen it already, I did do a full review on a 2020 C8 Stingray, base model Stingray. I'll leave a link to that review up on top of the video right now. But of course, in that video, I did actually drive the car. And one thing that was very, very interesting while driving the car is that it felt like, again, like an entry-level supercar, something that can definitely compete among the likes of, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and brands such as that. But at the same time, it felt and sounded like a regular, Chevy small block, and that's essentially what it was. But the only difference is it was behind you instead of in front of you, like every other or most other muscle cars up to this date. Now, because of that, the 2020 C8 Stingray that I drove specifically offered such a very unique driving experience that was a combination of the balance of a mid-engine vehicle, as well as you have the dual clutch, very quick shifting automatic transmission. But then when you pair that to an engine that was pretty, I guess, prehistoric in its design, like it's a very simple engine, again, just like a pushrod cam, 2 valves per cylinder, I believe. It's just regular V8. It still felt very raw and brutal. Now, of course, this new Z06 is definitely going to be even more brutal and even more raw as far as the driving experience is concerned, and that's because something that is stated in this article, and if you don't know the difference already, this is basically the main difference between a cross plane crank and a flat plane crank. Here up top, you can see the cross plane crankshaft, and basically what that means is that the journals where the actual connecting rods sit and move the pistons, they're basically at a 90-degree angle when compared to themselves. So that makes if you're looking at the crank, I guess, horizontally, it basically looks like this. That's where the kind of journals sit. Whereas with this 180-degree flat plane crank layout, basically the journals sit like this. So they kind of sit all even, and 4 of the connecting rods are attached up top, and then 4 are attached down below. The main problem with this crankshaft, as opposed to a cross plane crankshaft, is that it basically makes, as you can see, which is demonstrated right here in the picture, 2 cylinders on one side fire at the same time. And because of that, it definitely creates more of a jarring motion when the engine is actually running. So it's fantastic for race cars. It's great when it comes to power outputs and things like that. But as far as an actual comfort, believe it or not, a cross plane crankshaft is a lot better for just a regular street car. Now, moving on throughout this article, they actually did bring in Josh Holder, which is the chief engineer for Chevy, and he is directly quoted by saying to keep vibration forces and shaking forces down in a flat plane crank, you need to make the reciprocating mass as light as possible. So because of that, they did use forged titanium connecting rods, which are obviously a lot more expensive than something that's just, you know, cast. And also they did include a couple more elements that basically, you know, compensates for the added vibration that you get with the flat plane crank layout. Now moving on to why this engine is again, you know, so important and so special really, and why so many car enthusiasts are very, very excited to see this actually come out in the new Z06. It's basically because if you compare it to, again, the 6.2 liter pushrod small block that is found in the, you know, regular C8 Stingrays, that engine basically generates 495 horsepower at 6,450 RPM and has a red line of 6,500 RPMs, which is, you know, pretty standard and pretty reasonable for a regular V8. While as this new LT6 engine that is going to be found in the Z06 produces a peak 670 horsepower at 8,400 RPMs and basically red lines at 8,600 RPMs. So this engine is definitely going to rev a lot higher, and it's going to be making a majority of that power up in the higher RPM range, something that is a lot more familiar with, again, supercars that are produced by brands such as, you know, Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, and, you know, things of that nature. Now with that being said, because this is producing 670 horsepower from the factory, this actually makes the LT6 that's going to be found in the new Z06s the highest power output naturally aspirated V8 that is going to be found in a production car of all time. Like, not just right now, but like all time in automotive history in general. So that is another reason why this engine is so damn special. And in addition to this, with the 8,600 RPM redline, I don't know if it is the #1 highest revving domestic naturally aspirated V8 out there currently, but it's definitely going to be one of the highest revving naturally aspirated V8s that is, of course, being produced by American manufacturers here in the USA. So that's another great thing, I guess, for, you know, American car enthusiasts, of course. And I feel like it's definitely self-explanatory at this point, but another reason why this engine is, of course, so special is because this is the first flat plane crankshaft engine that is found in a street Corvette. This engine has been in the C8R race cars that were found in this past year's Le Mans and other GTE Pro racing during this past season. But of course, this is, you know, going to be the first engine in a street Corvette with a flat plane crank, which is going to not just offer, of course, an entirely different performance experience out of the car, but also offer incredible exhaust notes, which most people have already seen with the new Z06 reveal videos. But anyways, like always, guys, leave your opinions down in the comments below. Let me know whether you guys think that this engine is going to be way too costly to maintain for Corvette owners in the future, or let me know if you guys are just as excited for this engine to actually see it on the road as I am. But like always, guys, thank you for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.